Alright, so we're getting ready to do our second line. We're going to want a minimum of 10 feet of separation from the first line, as well as the tank, and 10 feet off the house. That's the requirements in this county. And then again, we use the laser, and or you can use even a sight level work if you know what you're doing. But basically, coming off the distribution box here, you measure the height back to the laser of the bottom of your hole here. You can give yourself a few inches of fall over to the 10 feet away for the next leach line. Then you add that to the 4 inches of diameter of the pipe plus the 36 inches of rock underneath. So you got 3 inches of fall, 4 inches of pipe, 36 inches of rock. So that means a total of, what did I just say? 3, 4, 7, and 3 feet of rocks. It's 36, 43 inches. So you're going to have 43 inches of trench depth under the below, basically from the bottom of the trench to the top of the pipe is what we're talking about. 47 inches. And then you'll have a foot of fill or so above that. So we're taking our shot off the D box, which is already in the ground, about a foot deep, roughly. So we really don't even have to calculate that in. But we do have to figure, if you can see here on the slope, or on the pad, if I stand over here, there is a grade here, a difference from one end of the trench that we're going to cut to the other. There's about a 1.5 foot difference. So we shot the grade from here, figured out the difference to there, which I said was a 1.5 foot. We had to add that to our overall trench depth so that when we dug from the house end over to the other end, we didn't end up coming up out of the ground too shallow with our line, because they want us to maintain 36 inches of rock throughout the entire length of the line. So I hope that makes sense. So the actual trench depth will be another 1.5 foot deeper on top of that, what did I say, 43 inches, give or take an inch or two. So that's what we're going to be digging. We're going to start at the house end so we don't work ourselves against the house here and not have room to maneuver. We'll start here. Actually, what we'll start first is we'll dig over from the distribution box to where the new trench will be. Just a shallow line that has some fall. And then from there we'll go over here and dig our ditch for our trench for the leach line. And that way when we're done, we have plenty of room down there for the excavator to get out of the way instead of being pressed up against the house here trying to work. And the reason why I shifted this bottom line over closer to the house than the first one is to stay well away from the slope over here on the edge of the pad. It's a pretty good drop off, pretty good slope there, 2 to 1, or probably 1.5 to 1 actually. Yeah, it's 1.5 to 1. So they want us to maintain a pretty good distance away from slopes like that, just so there's no danger of it leaking out of the slope. And so we're going to start. Also, another thing to always factor in as well. I should mention that at least in this county, in most counties in this area, that's the well shed. They want at least 100 feet away from the well for the septic tank and leach lines. And we definitely have that in this case, but some lots can really get tight in that respect, and sometimes you even need to specifically engineer a system to enable you to get that 100 feet of distance away, because you end up having to pump up a hill or build a mound or do a special drip line system, which can be a lot more involved in installation. So having said all that, we'll get started here digging. Okay, guys. So we've had our grade stick with the receiver for the laser set for the depth of our trench. Now we're going to reset the receiver on the grade stick for the height of our rock, which is going to be 36 inches. So the easiest way to do it, rather than trying to do math in your head, just measure down 36 inches. Here's 36, so we're going to bring the receiver right down to here. Right at the base from here. That's good. And then as we start filling the trench, we'll just shoot, lay the stick on the top of the rock, and that'll give us our new height for the bottom of the trench, which will be the top of the rock now. That's good. You're right on the end of it. Yeah.
What's that?
Get on the end of the pipe. Now push. There you go. All right. Oh shit. All right. The end of your pipe. That's 50 feet right there. We have a short stick left over anywhere?
There's that 2-foot piece over there.
That one joint together? Right there?
So, but it's, I think, oh, it was, the shovel was under this side.
Alright, we'll put the ladder at a decent angle. Like, oh, here it is, right here. That might just be perfect. Put that on the T.
Oh, I need the glue.
Yeah.
Well, if we put that on first, and then we can lay it in here and clock it the right direction.
Guys always go, "Oh, save shit pieces of pipe with it."
Because it
Because it comes in handy.
really look straight.
Twist it. A little. That works. That works. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Still gonna need another 5 degree. Make sure the letters are straight up and down. Okay.
Filming. So yeah, as you can see, guys, it's just all about piecing things together at this point. And the rock in the trench is not perfectly level by any means, but what we do is get it close, and then as we cover the pipe with the other 2 inches of rock over top of it, or a total of 6 more inches, you can take a shovel and just kind of get underneath the pipe and shim it up on the low spots. It makes it much easier than trying to move a bunch of rock by hand.
Oh, sorry. Got the key to skills.
It's in the back seat of the truck.
Oh, no. This is the last one we got to cut, right?
Kind of give me some back push pressure on
Okay.
Hold on. Just shove it this way a little.
Okay.
We're done.
Whenever you're ready.
It's in.
Oh. Well.
Are you centered up in the trench there? Okay. All right, so now we got a hook here to here, the tank to the D box.
It's in the back seat, you say?
Yeah, it is. The Milwaukee is. Okay, so to get your measurements right to connect your tank to your D box, take your first piece of pipe and slide it all the way into the D box. If you look into there, see how it's all the way in across to the other side. Then glue on your other piece. Where's my glue? Down in place. Slide her in. And let's go on into the tank to where you only have an inch or two sticking into the D box. That's about how I like to have them, right there. And then the last thing is just check for fall. So on a short span of pipe like this, I just usually grab a level rather than trying to get the laser on it. And it's quicker and easier. Just check it for fall. You can see there we got probably about 2 to 3 inches of fall over the length of this pipe. I don't know if you can see that or not. Can you see the bubble?
Yeah, I get the bubble.
There's level, and you can see it's up off the pipe a good inch there. So we definitely have good fall going into the D box. The next step to backfill this pipe, guys, is just find your highest spot. Glue your pipe together, throw it in the trench on top of the rock. Find your highest spot, which we just did, and we just adjusted the receiver to receive the laser at the highest spot here on the pipe. I'm just going to go down the pipe and check, make sure that is in fact the highest spot. There you
Hopefully this is all.
Okay, so we found what we believe is our highest spot on the pipe. We're just going to walk the pipe now and make sure it is in fact the highest spot. Okay, so we've got our high spot on the very end and right down there. Everything else is lower. So what we're going to do is we're going to shade in the pipe and we're going to raise the low spots and let the rock just kind of creep under the pipe to hold it in place. That's the easiest way to do this rather than trying to shovel a bunch of round rock to get a level trench here. So it's a good trick to know. You got tone?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that? All right. Ready for inspection. Except for the one last piece of pipe, but we'll have to do that in the morning.
Looks good, Hudson.
Well, we'll see what the inspector says, but I think it'll be just fine. So hey guys, if you like the content on this channel, well, you might check out our other channel. It's Father and Sons Investing. And it's all about encouraging your kids to think about their future and invest in their future. So check it out. Hope to see you there.